Time check is 12 p.m. and you are welcome to this bit live on Metro TV from our studio here at Rage in Accra. This is the Queer Bohima studio. I am Bryce Nanakwesi. We are live on DSTV channel 277, live on Facebook and on YouTube at Metro TV Ghana and on Twitter at Metro TV GH. Coming up in the next 60 minutes. Ghana, as health experts review Sputnik V and AstraZeneca vaccines not effective against it. A non-governmental organization report reviews 55% of Ghanaian children dream of traveling for greener pastures by 2040. Islamic girls SHS students clash with police over arrest of some teachers and maids in the Upper West Regional capital of Wa. In business, Registrar General reviews over 5,000 companies registered since 2011 will become inactive if they fail to file their annual returns by the end of 30th June 2021. And on the international front, Zambian health authorities raise concerns over rising coronavirus-related deaths as the country continues to battle a third wave. So yes, today, Tuesday, June 22, 2021, would have marked the 74th birthday of Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, who passed away on Thursday, November 12 last year after a short illness. Now, in celebration of his birthday, the J.J. Rawlings Foundation, in conjunction with the Achimota School and the support of the Forestry Commission, have organized a tree planting exercise at the Achimota School to mark the 74th birthday of the late President of Ghana. A statement issued by the foundation explained that the tree planting exercise will help raise awareness of the collective responsibility in protecting and preserving the environment, ideals that were very dear to the heart of J.J. Rawlings. The foundation also said the choice of venue is also to highlight the need for the younger generation to understand the role as guardians of nature and aims to empower students to take ownership of the campaign to preserve and protect the environment, one tree at a time. So a very happy birthday to the late Jerry John Rawlings, and may he continue on to rest in perfect peace. Now, and on to other stories. The most contagious COVID-19 variant originating from India has been recorded in Ghana. Now, Ghanaian health officials confirmed that the Indian variant, also known as the Delta variant, is one of the 45 variants which are currently in Ghana. The Indian strain has caused huge spikes in India and a serious increase in the cases in the UK, despite the fact that large sections of the population in those countries are vaccinated. According to health officials, the controls at the airport must be tightened to stop more importation of the variant. They revealed that the AstraZeneca and Sputnik V vaccines are not effective against the Indian variant. So we have now been joined on Zoom by virologist at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, NUST, Dr. Michael Owusu, to tell us about the deadly Indian strain detected in Ghana. Good afternoon and welcome to Newsbeat, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Great to have you here. So how different is the Indian variant from the already detected 44 variants in Ghana?
You know that the first wave was contributed by the very wild strain, which is the Wuhan strain. The second wave was due to the Alpha strain, which is what we term as the UK. And then what is happening with the third wave is what is called the Delta strain. The Delta strain has more than 70% transmissibility. And then it also is capable of causing severe disease, and is also capable of causing high level of mortality. So it is a bit similar to the Alpha one, but more severe compared to the Alpha one.
All right, so what impact does the new variant of the COVID-19 virus have on vaccines?
Well, the question of vaccines need to be looked at in two ways as to what the meaning is. When you give vaccines, there are endpoints that you measure. One of them is called symptomatic endpoints. And then we also have endpoints such as hospitalization and death. So what we understand about AstraZeneca, Pfizer, and the Russian vaccines is that when it comes to, for instance, the Delta strain, the Pfizer vaccine has high level of efficacy in preventing symptomatic disease. I mean, it's about 88%. Whilst the AstraZeneca has about 60% in preventing symptomatic disease. But when it comes to hospitalization, it's about 96% for Pfizer and 92% for AstraZeneca. So it doesn't mean that Pfizer will not work, or it doesn't mean that AstraZeneca will not work, but then the level of protection tends to be much lower if you are measuring symptomatic outcome. But then when it's about hospitalization and death, it looks more similar to Pfizer.
Now, Dr. Michael, how can we prevent future new variant of the COVID-19 virus?
Well, it will be difficult to prevent. What the scientific community is doing is trying to find vaccines, what we call universal vaccines, that will be able to evoke immune response against changing trend of the virus. But like we know in influenza, it's possible that for every new vaccines that come, we may have to be going for third booster doses or annual booster doses to cover emerging strains that will come. And the way the viruses behave, they work to escape vaccines that are developed. That is how they have been doing for years now. So in as much as we are trying to get new vaccines, they also try to mutate to escape this vaccine. So we need to work very hard to ensure that we get something that can cover almost all emerging types and deal with possible variants that may come in the near future.
All right, so will this delay the roadmap out of the COVID-19 pandemic for Ghana and the entire continent of Africa to attain herd immunity?
Well, the question of herd immunity will be very difficult because I think as we speak now, it's just about 0.6% of Africans who have been vaccinated against this particular virus. So it will be a bit difficult to talk about herd immunity, especially because we don't have industries in Africa that manufacture vaccines to deal with our problem. So for me, what we need to do now is to ensure that the protocols, which is putting on of masks, then ensuring that people observe physical distance should be our priority, whilst we engage more bilateral arrangement, intergovernmental arrangement to ensure we also get our bit of the vaccines to protect many. And the good thing about the vaccine is that irrespective of the variant, it looks as if once you take the vaccine, the chances of becoming hospitalized and dying is drastically reduced. And that gives a lot of confidence in many countries that have taken this vaccine. That is what I think that should encourage governments to ensure that many people are vaccinated as much as possible across this part of the country.
Thank you for talking to us this afternoon, sir. Dr. Michael Owusu is a virologist at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Let's to stay on matters of COVID-19. Meanwhile, some Ghanaians on the streets of Accra are reluctant as they continue to disregard COVID-19 protocols put in place to stem the spread of the virus. Desmond Danso has been speaking to some of them.
In the wake of the new COVID-19 strain that has been announced in the UK, I am here at Circle to speak to some Ghanaians to understand from them if they know about this and also the relaxations in terms of the adherence to the safety protocols. Why are people not wearing the nose mask anymore? Why are they not using their hand sanitizers? Why are they not observing the social distancing protocols? I'll speak to some Ghanaians and get some reactions from them.
No. People are tired of the protocol because they believe that COVID-19 is not in Ghana. And so they relax, maybe because of the fact that our leaders too are not adhering to it. Look at the recent Sir John funeral, what happened there? I mean, it was quite surprising. I mean, head of states not even adhering to that. So, and they are supposed to serve as lead as exemplary for us to be able to copy from them. So if they are not doing it, how much more the ordinary citizenry? So that is it.
We need to educate more. You see, the whole thing is centered within the big cities, Accra, Kumasi, and all those things. But we have to go to the interior. Every morning, all the radio stations and the media, that should be your first beacon call on the radio. Whether a pastor is coming to preach or not, he should. That's so that the education will go far.
Since the protocols are no more in process, I feel there's no COVID-19. People do say it's gone and then it's not in the system again. So that's myself, I don't think it's in the system. Since day one, I don't think it's in the system. I never thought. At first, the protocols were very hard on us. If you sit in the car and the policeman sees you, they'll be like, oh, where is your nose mask? Where is this? Where is that? You go to places without nose masks, you don't enter. But now you can go anywhere without your nose mask. So I feel it's coming down. People feel it's coming down too.
Because the pandemic has been with us for quite a long time, and people feel because of the longevity of the period, that's why they've relaxed their using their face masks or even adhering to the protocols.
COVID is still around, obviously. I mean, my mask, so yeah. And then it's like everyone is taking it easy of late. You don't even see the Veronica buckets around and the nose masks too. Some are wearing, some too are not wearing. Yeah, me like this, when I heard of it, I'm like, no, it's not going now. So that's why I'm still in my mask, yeah.
I think we Ghanaians should obey the protocols and other things because it's really around, and mostly the car that I took today, half of the people in the car were not wearing nose mask. They think that the COVID is gone, but it's still around.
I used to watch BBC and Michelle, who say Koso, and the crowd, they said about 500,000 people are dead in Brazil.
It's still with us, so anytime you step out, don't forget to wear your nose masks and keep social distance. Away from that, let's now go to the Upper West region. As students of Wa Islamic Girls Senior High School in the Upper West region on Monday besieged the premises of the regional police headquarters, demanding the release of some 3 teachers and 4 students. Now, the staff and students were arrested earlier in the day, Monday, June 21, following a complaint lodged by a man who was arrested by the school and handed over to the police for allegedly robbing and attempting to rape students. Upper West Regional Correspondent Adam Musa has the rest of the story read to you.
Some staff and students of the school were arrested by the Wa Police Command following an assault complaint lodged by a man who was nabbed by the school. The man, whose name was only given as Sharon, was arrested at the school's campus for an attempted rape and was immediately handed to the Wa Police. He was tied with a rope on his 2 legs before the police arrived and took him away. The Regional Public Relations Officer, Chief Inspector Gideon Boatin, has been narrating what happened to Metro News.
They were not detained as the students. I don't know who engineered the students. And they came here and started throwing stones at the main charge office. So the police stand by, which were there to go for duty. sack the student people. We didn't arrest anyone, but the way and manner they were throwing the stones and cleaning over here was very bad.
He said the police are currently investigating alleged assault and alleged rape cases and in due course would brief the media.
So we are now joined by on Zoom by our Upper West Regional correspondent Adams Musa for more on this. Adams, what's the current situation in the school and the mood in town?
Well, if I just moved out from the school campus and everything is normal. School classes is in full session and the atmosphere there is quite good, except a few residents around the area who are complaining about the situation. They said, looking at the situation there is because the school has no fence and it opened gates for everyone to move into the campus. So this is an issue that has the authority needs to come in and then ensure that the school gets fenced in order to curtail issues of such nature happening again. So if we go to the Islamic Girls Senior High School, classes is in full session and everything is back to normality.
Great, but have the students and teachers who were arrested been released?
Yes, according to Inspector Gideon, there's the two teachers who were arrested yesterday were they only took their statement and they were released on self bail, and they've been asked to join the police in investigation. So the police are investigating two accounts. One is the assault case against the man who was alleged to have attempted raping one of the students, and also the assault against the teachers. These are the two accounts the police is currently investigating.
So you just mentioned that the teachers have been released.
We are not on the issue to get.
Adam,
yes.
So you just mentioned that the teachers have been released. How about the students?
Well, all of them were released yesterday, according to Inspector Gideon.
All right.
They were only called to take their statement. They were not in police custody. They were only called in to take their statement and allowed to go back to school.
All right. Okay, so the connection there is quite bad, and we'll try and go back to him as and when we have a good connection there. And so Adams Musa is our Upper West Regional correspondent. Away from that, but let's just stay on matters of education. And the West African Examination Council, WAEC, has debunked claims that the 2020 West African Senior School Certificate Examination questions were leaked before the exams, according to the head of public affairs at WAEC, Agnes Tay Kujo. The methodology used by the Ghana Education Service, Ghana Education Watch, I beg your pardon, in its assessment of the 2020 Senior High School Certificate Examination was not credible. She added that these assertions of paper leakages are as a result of circulation of fake papers and past questions on social media and not from the WAEC.
There were no actual questions that were leaked. Our press statement of August 19, 2020 indicated that several fake versions of questions, including those of Integrated Science 2 and 1, Social Studies 2 and 1, Chemistry 3, that's Practical Alternative A, and Economics 2 and 1 papers, were shared on social media platforms, and we still stand by that statement. Perceived leakages, which I believe is what Africa Education Watch is referring to, have been due to the following. One, circulation of fake question papers and past question papers purported to be the actual paper from about 3 days to the conduct of the examination. And I'm sure most of you can remember that before we started the conduct of the 2020 WAS, we saw several versions of integrated science papers circulating on social media. The council even came out with a statement saying that those papers were fake, and that is what led to some of the unruly behavior by some candidates after the paper was written. and then snapping of the actual paper and posting it online a few minutes before the start of the examination. We will recall that during the BEC for School 2020, WAEC Intelligence picked up 9 supervisors and invigilators who had mobile phones on them and had snapped the question paper and posted them on various platforms. This issue was reported to the police, and they have since been prosecuted. In its report, EduWatch erroneously states that questions are transported from their respective exam centers either on the night prior to or at the dawn of the examination day, depending on the distance between the WAEC depot and the center. We wish to state that WAEC does not transport question papers to exam centers on the night prior to or at the dawn of the examination day. The depot manual issued to depot keepers, that is WAEC staff and GES officers not below the rank of assistant director, indicates the opening and closing times of the depot and underscores the fact that depot keepers should not issue question papers to supervisors earlier than 45 minutes before the start of each paper. The instructions for use by supervisors at exam centers states, no member of staff should invigilate any subject which he or she teaches, whether in the examination year or any other year. This is strictly adhered to by school authorities in the drawing up of the invigilation timetable. While there may be a few bad nuts in the system, it is unfair for EduWatch to use that to indict teachers with respect to their integrity.
You are still watching this Be Live here on Metro TV. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll tell you a story about a non-government organization, Child Rights National, that has reviewed a report that 55% of Ghanaian children dream of traveling for greener pastures by 2040.
We have to be very certain where the and I strongly believe that once we do that, children will be determined to do things for this country. And because they are confused, they don't know where the country is heading towards, and they don't have, they are not certain that when they are in Ghana, things will be okay for them.
A fast charge system with 2-for-1 certification. 90Hz superfluid display. 6.95-inch Full HD+. MediaTek Helio G95 processor. Unbeatable gaming experience. Infinix Note 10 Pro, faster and smoother.
Did you know that cloth handkerchief gets dirty and wet after wiping your sweat or blowing your nose with it? Keeping a dirty handkerchief in your pocket or bag is very unhygienic. Reusing it increases your chances of getting sick from germs. That is why I always use Flora disposable handkerchief. Flora disposable handkerchiefs is disposable, thus making it a more hygienic option. It's thick and very absorbent. With 10 tissues in a pack, Flora disposable handkerchief is better than a cloth handkerchief. Mommy, my Flora disposable handkerchief. Look out for Flora toilet roll, Flora multi-purpose paper towels, Flora table napkins, and Flora box tissues in a shop near you. For both purchases, call Delta Paper Mail on 0243 033.
Welcome back. And our latest survey by the Child Rights International indicates that over 6,000 out of 11,228 children have indicated their willingness to leave the country in search of greener pastures and also get better education. The report, which was conducted between June 2020 and April 2021, had 55% of children aged between 12 and 17 from all 16 regions showing interest in moving out of the country. Executive Director of Child Rights National, Bright Appiah, has asked the government to put systems in place to avert the situation.
If you are able to put all these things in place, we would affirm the belief systems of our children in this country, and then they will contribute their quota. Then again, I also realize that there's a lot of things that are going on that we don't have a national agenda that children have understanding of it. Therefore, they feel that most of the things are done according to their own dictate. But we should clearly spell out the national agenda that children must have understanding about.
The survey, Ghana Through the Eyes of Children, Present and the Next 20 Years, gathered the views of children in the area of education, patriotism and migration, among other topics, with 47% of children painting a bleak picture as to how the country's current educational system will help them secure their future. The Executive Director of Child Rights International asked stakeholders to put policies into perspective to safeguard the future of Ghanaian children.
So clearly, they know what they are talking about, and I think that it is on us to put things in perspective so that children will have a clear understanding of where the country is going. Once we have that, I think that a lot of things we will resolve it without necessarily even going through some ways and all that.
The Executive Director also charged the government to implement policies regarding children and strengthen institutions that are in charge of the affairs of children.
Then we've hit more than 100% in terms of the policy system that we have. But one of the things that I think that we fall short has to do with the issue of implementation of these policies and programs and all that. And that, for me, if you are able to also bring that to a certain level, we can make children have a better life. But
So let's now take a look at findings from the research of Child Rights International being led by Bright Appiah concerning children who want to leave the country for greener pastures. So here it says findings and respondents. So 11,288 children were contacted, and between age 12 and 17 years were the respondents. And it says 48% of this number are female, and 52% of this number here are male. So let's move to the next slides. And the next slides here, and also says 93% of children are proud to be Ghanaians, which is good news for the country. 93% of children are proud to be Ghanaians. And however, 55% of the children want to leave the country by 2040, citing jobs, education, and better standards of living as the reasons why these children here want to leave the country. So here on this board, it says opinions of children on their intentions to leave the country. The yellow says want to live in Ghana. The blue here says want to move to another country. And the last one says fine, either way, whether they stay here in Ghana or they move out of the country, they are fine. So the highest here, let's start with want to live in Ghana. And the highest number here comes from the Ashanti region. That gave us 45. And it says 45 of this number are from the Ashanti region, and they want to live here in Ghana. They are not willing to travel to any country for any greener pasture whatsoever. But a number of 84 people, or 84% of people in Savannah, children in Savannah, wants to travel to the country for greener pastures, as they cited education, among others, are reasons why they want to leave the country. 84 from Savannah. And finally, that way, whether they leave or not, they are okay. It's 28% that is in the Volta region. 28% of children in the Volta region don't really mind whether they travel or stay in Ghana. They will be fine. That's it. So let's still focus on this story. And meanwhile, remember, of Parliament for Ningu Prom Sam Nate George is demanding that government lays a strong foundation for children to serve as a springboard for children in the country. In the same spirit, former Executive Director of Dankwa Institute, Richard Ehiagba, wants political parties in the country to make a collective effort towards a common goal for safeguarding the future of the Ghanaian children.
And I dare say that these 11,000 respondents, if kids of elites were part, it will be less than 1%. This will be regular, average Ghanaian kids. What they are aspiring to, those who are today clothed with the power to fix this country and make it attractive for these kids to want to stay here to school because they know they will get the quality of education, stay here to work because they know they will get the correct remuneration for it. Their kids are not even here. So there is no reason for them to fix the system. That's the point I'm trying to make, Randy. Because you see, Randy, they're only aspiring to what the people at the top are doing. And so if we continue to do that, you only have people who are seeking the next opportunity to go out. I want to believe you've had some education outside the country. I have had education outside the country. Randy, you too. Compare that to the education you got here in Ghana. My LLB degree, I never saw my lecture one day. I never saw a lecture one day. But Randy, the quality of educational material that I had, University of Ghana Law School doesn't have it.
It is one of the things that we need to be sober about. The two leading political parties must come to terms with what our country needs. And that recognition must happen in a space where it is not in a disagreement, but there must be a consensus on what we want to do or what we want to be as a country. And I think we have a good sense of that. But the minute Party A comes into government, the space is actually so tense, you can't really take a step back and then process the space and then begin to think and implement some of these things that the NDP has done. But can we get to a point where the two parties agree? Can we get to a point where our politics is about ideas, okay? Not about accusing this person of that or blaming this, but it's about superior, demonstration of ideas. To say that we in the MPP has what it takes, and this is what we are doing, this is what we are doing, this is what we're doing. And the NDC comes to say, well, whilst that is a superior idea, this is a better idea. So we can focus.
So those were responses from Richard Ehiagba and Sam George there, and on a research done by Child Rights International. 55% of children in Ghana want to leave the country for greener pastures. Away from that, on to other stories where President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has promised to provide security personnel with the necessary logistics to avert terrorist attack in the country. Then the president asked residents of the Upper East region to remain following recent threats by Burkina bandits, adding that his government will soon construct a barracks to monitor any intended attack by terrorists from neighboring Burkina Faso and other countries. He made this pledge when he paid a courtesy call on the paramount chief of the Boko traditional area, Zugran Naba Zigri Abugrago, the second as part of his thank you tour in the region.
President Akufo-Addo, during his day's tour of the Upper East region, revealed the death toll from terrorist attacks in neighboring Burkina Faso is very scary and has vowed to provide the needed support to protect the lives of the people against any attacks by the Islamist insurgents.
Proximity of your region to Burkina Faso makes it an obvious potential target for these murderers and criminals who want to destabilize and terrorize our lives in Ghana. Bokonaba, you're aware of the measures that the government is taking to strengthen the security agencies here and protect us from terrorist attacks emanating from Burkina Faso. And I'm happy to inform you that a permanent barracks is going to be established here in this area to be able to address the issue of terrorism.
The president used the occasion to heap praises on the Boko Naba for his commitment in sustaining the relative peace in Boko for more than a decade. President Akufo-Addo added that the NPP-led administration was working assiduously to turn around the fortunes of the region and the country at large, stating that more development projects would be accorded the region in no time.
I'm very happy to hear from you about the peace in the area, that it is the work of the Boko Interethnic Peace Committee. Handicap for the committee that you referred to, the absence of transport, we will solve it. So very soon, the car you want for the committee, it'll be delivered to you. We have to do everything possible to maintain the peace and security of the area.
He called on the chiefs, opinion leaders and all stalwarts of the political divide to support his government to expand the pro-poor interventions to benefit the marginalized in the region.
You are still watching this live on Metro TV Live on DSTV channel 277. It's now time for business, and Kenneth Ejisi has it all.
Well, thank you very much, Bright. Up next is business. Stay tuned. In our first business story, about 5,000 companies registered since 2011 will become inactive in the books of the Registrar General if they fail to file their annual returns by the end of 30th June 2021. Now, this is according to the Registrar General Jemima Owari speaking at the AGI seminar on the new Company Act here in Accra.
In ensuring ease of doing business, the Companies Act 1963, Act 179, has been repealed and replaced by the new 2019 Act 992 Companies Act. The Registrar General, Jemima Owari, has been speaking on the new act.
Auditors, now you need to change your auditor. We've given you up to August of 2022 if they've been more than 6 years. And even after you change them, you have a cooling off period of another 6 years before you can reappoint them. So there's a need for all companies to be aware of that. For now, you can start a company if you're just 18 years. In the past, it was 21. We have stricter requirements for directors now. You cannot be a director if you have been charged or even convicted of fraud or causing a company to go into insolvency. You cannot be a director at least for the next 5 years.
Also, she urged businesses to file their annual returns through their online portal.
Go onto our website, www.rgd.gov.gh. Go to news and find out if your name has been listed there. If it's listed there, then after 30th of June, if you still haven't come to file your annual returns, and when I say annual returns, it doesn't really matter whether you're doing business or not, as I said this afternoon. Just update us and let us know whether directors are still the same or shareholders are still the same or you've moved office. That's what we're really interested in, not whether you've carried on business or not. You can file a nil return if you've not carried on any business.
The Registrar General Jemima Owari engaged members of the Association of Ghana Industries on the new Companies Act.
Now, President Akufo-Addo has given his assurance the government will construct a guinea fowl processing factory in the Boko municipality of the Upper East region. He said the factory will be constructed under the One District, One Factory initiative. He added that 6 warehouses are under construction in the region. Now, President Akufo-Addo said this when he paid a courtesy call on the paramount chief of the Kusak traditional area, Zugran Naba Asigri Abugrago Azoka II, as part of his day's visit to the Upper East region.
The 6 warehouses in the Kusao traditional area that are being constructed, they are 80% complete. All 6 warehouses that we're completing in order to strengthen the farmers and our agriculture in the area. I'm talking about the warehouse at Palore, at Pusiga, at Garu, at Bogre, at Binduri, and at Zemila. Very soon they'll be complete, which will enable the farmers to be able to store their produce and safeguard their incomes. And in order also for us now to be engaged in all year round farming, Over 40 dams have been built in the Kusau traditional area as part of the One Dam, One Village facility. And in the same way, under the one district, one factory policy, we are going to establish very soon a guinea fowl processing factory here in.
Now, the Ghana Cocoa Board has exceeded its target and has sold a record 11.7 billion of 6 months cocoa bills between January and May 2021 to finance cocoa purchases. There's more in this report.
Indications are that the 2020-2021 production has exceeded target, stretching the 1.3 billion syndicated loan that was raised at the beginning of the season in October 2020. Head of Finance and Administration at Cocoa Board, Ray Ankara, told Bloomberg that it has increased bill sales to help finance maturing obligations. Farmers had harvested about 965,493 metric tons by June 3, 2021, compared with a target of 900,000 tons for the whole crop year that ends in September 2021. The country may exceed the 1 million ton mark achieved in the 2010-2011 crop.
Now let's take a look at how the city is performing against other major trading currencies and also the prices of some commodities on the world market. Well, that will be it for business. I'm Kenneth Jesse. Bride is standing by for the rest of the news.
Thank you. And you're still watching this bit live on Metro TV. A quick time when we come back, sports with John Phil Korte will be next.
Masa, cham kubanwi am kan ku fi ayi mi dunu mo baje bona jam wai ba ha be biya yuki am be be wai HD logo no bottom. When you say HD local channels na mo hedo. And so pictures here clear. E 5 times better. As other channels that go be show hormone. So go dey mention mo tram ra why. Oh, what the pictures.
Who knows tomorrow?
What the picture? What do AD plus decoder or multi TV and now Electroland agent PR natural local channels now HD the here so better star 879 hash numbers from Kubo box and now the advert AD channels now you can
get an HD plus decoder from now till the 9th of August for just $89.99 Ghana cedis and enjoy 3 months free subscription. Enjoy all the excitement and live sports action in the HD Plus Air Bosso Feely promo. Promo lasts from 7th June to 9th August 2021. Visit hd-plus.com.gh or call 024-243-9872 for more info.
Half a nose for good things.
Welcome back. We're still live on DSTV channel 277, on Facebook and on YouTube at Metro TV Ghana, on Twitter at Metro TV GH. Phil John Korte is on standby with the latest in the world of sports.
Well, up next, we're bringing the latest in sports right here.
My name is Fayo John Quartet. Let's start with the Ghana Premier League, where Legon City's goalkeeper Fatah Daouda has indicated that the team must be focused and win all league matches in order to avoid relegation when the season wraps up.
It's a difficult time when the league is getting this way. Those who want to win the league are pushing. Those who want to escape relegation are also pushing. So I think we need to win some games. It's possible, we can do it, so that we can find ourselves at a comfortable position. We need to survive and stay in the league, and so that we take it from there next season. So I think it's going to be difficult. You are going to beat the team that they want to win the league. You are going to beat the team that they want to escape relegation. So it's not easy. That's what I said earlier on. We need to step up our determination and then winning mentality, so that until we can take at least 6 from it.
After the MTN FA Cup, the Ghana Premier League will return tomorrow, bringing all the fixtures later in a subsequent bulletin. But let's go to Europe and focus on England, because Manchester United Harry Maguire, who is yet to feature for the Three Lions in the ongoing European Championship, says England are aiming to win their match against Czech Republic, despite qualifying for the last 16.
Really important to go out there and try and win the football match. Like I said, the boys have put themselves in a great position in the group. 4 points from 2 games. Obviously, we want to win every football match, so we'd like to be on 6, but it's still in a strong position. And now you say another big game against the Czechs, and one that we're looking forward to, and we go there and try and get the 3 points.
There's also much discussion about the team Southgate will pick tonight. A lot of it is about the attacking players. You wouldn't expect Maguire to have much involvement in those areas, but he has been amongst the goals in training.
Small siders, it's what everyone enjoys doing.
From the little no look.
Yeah, no look against Ramsdale as well, so it's nice to get one against the fellow Blades. Obviously, small-sided games, great to be back involved. It's what you all enjoy doing, especially when you're a footballer and playing them games, and it's good for your sharpness as well, so I enjoy it.
We're still talking about European Championship after beating Russia 4-1 in Copenhagen to qualify for the last 16 of the European Championship. Dennis trainer Kasper Hamel has praised his players for their performance and expressed gratitude for the teaming fans that cheered them during the last 3 matches.
We hope that it will be a magic night.
Welcome back. And on the international front, Zambian health authorities have expressed concern over rising coronavirus-related deaths as the country continues to battle a third wave of the infections. Health officials noted a reduced capacity in mortuaries, saying the number of daily COVID-19 fatalities in the country was unprecedented. They have described the third wave of COVID in the country as devastating, with 47 deaths having been recorded over the previous day. The number of daily COVID-19 deaths is unprecedented. We report 407 deaths in just 3 weeks of the third wave, a statement released by the health authorities established. The surge in infections has coincided with campaigns for the 12 August general election, which kicked off on 12 May 2021. That's it for the news. Before we go, we take a quick look at our top stories. Deadly Indian COVID-19 strain detected in Ghana as health expert reveals Sputnik V and AstraZeneca vaccines not effective against it. A non-governmental organization report reveals 55% of Ghanaian children dream of traveling for greener pastures by 2040. Islamic girls SHS school students clash with police over arrest of some teachers and maids in the Upper West regional capital of Wa. And in business, Registrar General reveals over 5,000 companies registered since 2011 will become inactive if they fail to file their annual returns by the end of 30th June 2021. And on the international front, Zambian health authorities raise concerns over rising coronavirus-related deaths as the country continues to battle the third wave. We also came away with sports and showbiz. The news return at 4 p.m. with News Flash. I am Bright Nana Kwesi Amini, and this has been Newsbeat. Have a good afternoon.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
Kids say the darndest things.